Hello everyone and welcome to the Anime Zilia, and today let's talk about Dr. Stone episode 21 of the anime series. All things considered, this episode was rather informative and good for both Senku and Suika. As they both show different traits in this episode, the comedy was good, funny, I laughed in quite a few of the parts, and it showed us a bit of a frame time as to how long it's actually been taking our heroes so far. Now, since we have hydroelectrical power, energy, we start off by upgrading the water wheel. So that it doesn't, this is basically to stop them from wasting too much electricity that is being generated by this water wheel. So in order to do this, we must create a battery to store this electric. And we do that pretty easily, and these are the results. So basically what they do is they stick lead slates with wire attached to them into sulfuric acid that they got from that lake. This basically allows them to store the electric in a safe environment. Well, safe almost, because Kinro gets zapped by it. But this does in fact make their lives a lot easier, because they don't need to use the cranky machine anymore. So that was pretty good. Now, in the way they explained this scene, it was okay. Like, I kind of got it, but at the same time I kind of don't, which is pretty much the same thing for everything in Dr. Stone. But, hey, let's move forward. Now, the improvements don't stop there, as we actually create pumps for the, basically the big furnace that we have. Remember the big furnace where they had to pan the fans, that hit the sticks, to basically increase the temperature with the air flowing into it? Well, now they can do that even better with this device. This is basically a level 3 upgrade, and it basically makes it a lot easier for the villagers. Now, this is all well and good, but it was a very quick segment, and it seemed like the updates were done on the same day, when in reality it probably took them way longer. Remember, all of this somehow took Chrome and Kanasenki 3 days to make, which I guess, okay, if they work night and day, sure. But all these upgrades probably should have taken a lot longer, considering they're already exhausted. So that's one thing I didn't really like, but I mean, that could have easily been fixed by a line from one of the characters saying, "Whew, that took us like a week to do. Finally, it's done." But instead, they just had like the craft team looking like zombies and like death. So, I don't know. It was kind of weird. However, it was all done for comedy for the most part, so I'll let them have a slide on that. Now, we move along to a very nice scene that I do actually really like. It's a montage of the villagers basically prepping for winter. Now, this is a concern that the former chief actually had about the village. He wasn't sure how they were going to do it, and in this scene we actually see how science can help them. Obviously, science has helped them grow better food, helped them with their fishing resources, their farming resources with the tools, and has also kind of allowed them to preserve meat, as we saw in this episode as well. Which is all very well and good, and it shows off how science can make life a lot easier, which again is the main premise of the show. Well, we like to think it is anyway. Now, another reason as to why I like this little montage is because it justifies the upgrades that we have to the water wheel. Think about it, if it weren't for the upgrades of the water wheel, these villagers will be slaving away, doing the chores like grinding and pumping, and they wouldn't be able to harvest for winter. So it does actually kind of back up the idea of upgrading this water wheel to make it easier for the villagers and to give them more time and more freedom. So again, that was pretty good. Meanwhile, Senku and the craft team are actually making... before that, we actually get this picture here. Kohaku and Ruri are basically creating juice with their feet. Now, who wants to drink their who wants to drink juice that they make? Pause. Because, yeah, my bad. Oops. Moving on. We actually get Senku and the other craft team creating lights. And if you thought that the light bulb experiment from the other episode was stunningly pretty to look at, then this one will blow it out the water because they make millions of little light bulbs and put them over a massive tree in order to create like a Christmas tree type of thing. And this is also really cool because we get a bit of a time frame as to where they are. To get to this point, it said that they took 2 months to get there. And to do that, it gives us that time frame of when they started to now, which is pretty good because we know that they've got until till spring to finish it, which means if it's Christmas by Gen's kind of thinking and Senku's kind of thinking, then it kind of means that they've got about 4 months roughly left to complete their phones. So now that they've got the light bulb sorted, what's next? Well, actually, before I get to that, I do want to mention the fact is that we do get to see the craft team working out a way to stop the light bulb from burning up too quickly. Because we actually had that problem last time. That's why we couldn't go ahead and make light bulbs again, like right off the bat. So we get this end result of the tree, and then we get the hard work process and trial and error. And this episode was basically trial and error through and through. Because with the light bulbs, it blew out too quickly. So what was the result? Take out all the air, because air but allows fire to burn. So take out the air, you've got a good working light bulb. And then we have more trial and error with the second invention. Now, I mentioned the fact that this episode was great for Senku and Suika. And here's why. We all know that Suika just wants to help people. And this episode, she manages to boost Senku back into his normal self after he gets disheartened by their new invention not working. It fails time and time again, and basically they're trying to make vacuum tubes and it keeps failing and breaking. He doesn't know why. He realizes why, and he feels like he can't do it because he doesn't have the right materials. So he gets disheartened and basically gets down in the dumps. We see him look like this. He seems like he wants to give up on the idea of the cell phones and tries to rack his brain on something else. Now, you look at the reason what they're actually trying to make. They're trying to make this. It definitely doesn't look simple to someone who's not familiar with science. But the reason why they're trying to make it is for the cell phones. The reason being is what it does is it allows you to take electrical current, vibration, pass it through and boost it so that it can travel a lot further and be projected from a different signal. So that's why they need it. It's a very key part in their thing. It's also known as computer eggs, vacuum tubes, whichever you want to call it. Not really that important. Well, it is for the device, but the names are not that important. And the main issue is that the wiring keeps expanding, thus it breaks due to too much heat. So with her determination and her will to help, Suika actually finds a piece of, is it scheelite? That sounds a bit rude, but I think that's how you pronounce it. It's spelled S-C-H-E-E-L-I-T-E. And this glows once exposed to ultraviolet rays. Another name for it would be tungsten, which heat. What's that when tungsten is one of the most heat-resistant metals there is? Now, firstly, I just want to say the effects of this sort of glowing was a bit over the top, but okay, it's Dr. Stone, so I'm not going to dwell on it for too long. And this segment for Senku was very nice, as it does give us a bit of a more vulnerable side to Senku's character, as it does generally seem like he was about to give up on the idea of making the phones. Which, Senku being this all-knowing, invincible science knowledge when it comes to his knowledge of science, seeing him almost giving up because he doesn't have the right tools, it's kind of cool for his character because it shows that he has got room for improvement and he's still human. So, I really did enjoy the kind of development aspect from Senku, and again, Suika just kind of takes it. Next, we actually have a situation in where they need more tungsten. So the episode ends with them trying to pick their own teams to basically go into the mines that Chrome went into to find some more. And I love the kind of character selection because they've got Chrome and Senku. They need one more person to basically go with them, and they have this come up. It's like a video game. You got Kinro, his skills, Rules are rules. Kino the guard. Golden spear, head on strike, eyes of science, glasses. Attribute, straight lanced. Excels in both offense and defense, balanced but serious as hell. Brilliant. And then there's like, hold on a minute, maybe we need Kohaku. So it's like, only option is to strike first. High speed foot, drabbing, whatever. Super, somersault kick, lioness, dual wielding. Mighty good eyes, 11.0. Mighty fast. Attribute gorilla, extraordinary stamina, unmatched power, as she acts first and thinks later. Love it. Again, I'm going to win no matter who I have to dispose of. Super awesome magic. Mentalism. Guess the card fraud. Mentalism. Guessed birth date fraud. Vanishing act. Black nightshade. Ice cold cola. A curse to make one's heart explode. They're pretty awesome. Attribute mentalist, you know what it is. I love the fact though that they got like health and like attack sort of stats, but it's just like it's a video game. Gen's is attack 5, health is 1,000. Kaku's health is 20,000 because, you know, she's overpowered. Attack, yeah, we all know it. And we actually find out the person who will be joining the crew is in fact this guy. Everyone's favourite doofus, Magma. Although, I don't like him, so not everybody. And this just causes problems, because we know Magma doesn't like Senku. And the fact they're going to be in a nice cramped cave, maybe something might happen between the two. Who knows? Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. We know that we're now going to be looking for more tungsten in the next episode. And maybe something might happen, maybe it won't. We have to find out next week. So, with all that being said, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button. Hit dislike if you disliked. Let me know why down in the comments. Let me know all your thoughts on the episode and on the reviews down there as well. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me. And until next time, I hope you'll have an amazing day and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye for now.